So I'm really looking forward to this event. This is going to be a double block event, and we're going to spend some time with the Game Rangers Association of Africa. And in a moment, we're going to meet Andrew Campbell. But before we do, I want to start this session with a little video. So bear with me for just a moment while the video loads, and then we are off.
Salute to all African Rangers. My name is Regina Smith. I am the Ranger Corporal in the North West Parksport, based in Pilanesberg Game Reserve, South Africa. I'm also a dedicated, disciplined member of the Game Ranger Association of Africa. As you may all know, that the theme for World Rangers Day 2021 is Ranger safety and well-being, something that is so close to my heart, knowing that Rangers are covered. In our efforts in protecting the natural heritage, we are really faced with the risk associated with dangerous wild animals, sickness, community backlashes, threats of armed poachers. The list is endless. Over half of African Rangers do not have life insurance or long-term disability insurance. And I am so proud because the association took it upon themselves to make sure that Rangers are covered by having a Ranger Protect plan. The cover that aims to support and protect our Rangers and their families. I now work and do all my tasks at work, knowing that I am sorted, I am covered, I am protected. I do not have to worry anymore what will happen in case something happens while I'm off duty. Because the cover itself, it includes the accidental death and medical evacuation cover 24/7, even when the Ranger is off duty. This is the protection that a Ranger needs to confidently and comfortably perform our duties in the field. I would like to thank the Game Ranger Association of Africa in all that they're doing in making sure that the Ranger well-being and safety is taken into consideration. And to my fellow Rangers, in this World Rangers Month, I would like you to remember that doing the best at this moment puts you in the best place for the next moment. I salute you all. I know it's hard, but remember one thing. You are worthy. You are covered. You are protected. Keep on, Ranger on. I salute you and celebrate this month knowing that you deserve to be here. Thank you.
All right, Regina, thank you so much for that great start. As promised, we're going to bring Andrew Campbell in now. He's a conservationist who is passionate about wildlife, wild places, and the people who support them. So he's the Chief Executive Officer with Game Rangers Association of Africa. And let's bring Andrew in here with us now. Hi, Andrew. How you doing?
Yeah, good on yourself, Joe. Nice to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here on World Ranger Day, and you know we have so many Ranger stories to share today. I'm really excited for this double block.
Yeah, fantastic, and thanks for giving Rangers the platform today. I think it's fantastic to celebrate all the work that they do.
All right, excellent. Well, I know you're gonna take over for a little bit, so I'll let you go ahead and do that, and then yeah, we'll keep moving and meeting some Rangers.
Fantastic. Let me just share my screen here. Just shout if everything's working as planned.
Yeah, it looks good. Nice and full screen. We're ready.
Fantastic. So I just going to give you a brief intro into the background of Game Rangers Association and what we do to support rangers on the front lines of conservation. So we were established in 1970, so 51 years old this year. We support 1,700 rangers across Africa, 25 different countries. And I guess what makes us unique is we're a group of rangers supporting rangers. It gives you a bit of a geographical spread of where our members are based all over different protected areas in Africa. Rangers are essentially the guardians of wild Africa. They enforce the law. There's no hiding that. They're tasked with ensuring the territorial integrity of Africa's protected areas. They monitor species as well, though. They don't just enforce the law. I think the common misconception is all rangers do is law enforcement, but they monitor species. Here they're looking after and trying to locate black rhino in a reserve in KwaZulu-Natal. Often the marine side of things are forgotten about, and these rangers are monitoring turtles in the Seychelles. Here's another ranger monitoring black rhino. If you look closely, you can see a little calf besides the female rhino there. Definitely gets the blood pumping to be this close to a black rhino and calf. But this ranger will note the sighting and put his details in his book and report that back to the conservation manager. Rangers manage species and landscapes. So they do things like fire management and control, game capture, obviously in the rhino scenario, dehorning of rhino, relocation of elephants. They also engage and support communities. Rangers are from the communities themselves, often from local villages surrounding protected areas. They spend a lot of time engaging with people living near, in, or nearby the reserves that they work in. So by supporting rangers, you benefit all species because rangers look after all species in the reserve, whether it be elephants, turtles, giraffe, or the plant life. You also support communities. As I said, rangers are from communities themselves, and protected areas bring prosperity to areas that are engulfed with poverty and social inequality. Rangers work against the odds in these beautiful, wild, remote places. Just some of the landscapes that rangers work in. They work on sea, land, and lake. Rangers risk their lives to protect wildlife and these wild places. The tragedy is they are not supported. The average ranger in Africa earns approximately $180 per month. They work over 100 hours a week. They're expected to live in poor living conditions, such as this. Some of the ranger bases are really in a state of disrepair when you visit them, and this is an example of some of the wash facilities that rangers are expected to clean it. Poor toilet facilities. Only 50% have any kind of life insurance in place. Only 40% have disability insurance. And yet, to provide that cover costs as little as $45 per ranger per annum. 59%, when surveyed, didn't have the right equipment or amenities to ensure their safety. Yet it costs just $100 for boots that will last a ranger a year, or less than $500 for a full set of uniform. 40% of rangers that were surveyed felt they were not adequately trained. Training can be expensive, but as an investment in the people and the wildlife of Africa. Often people ask us how they can help. The first thing to do is to help raise awareness, which World Ranger Day is a great place to start. And thanks, Joe, for your contribution here. And then the other way is to directly support rangers themselves. Rangers work for nature, and as GRA, we work for rangers. If anyone would like to find out more information about how they can assist in our mission, please head over to gameranger.org, where the details of our individual programs that support rangers are there. And if so inclined, people can make a donation towards those. All right, thanks, Joe. That was just a little intro to a little bit about what we do. I could probably spend the full hour talking about it, but I think that gives us a background, and it'd be great to hear from some of the rangers themselves now.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great background and really kind of showed the diversity of the work that the rangers are doing, different fields, different places. And you're right, we've got some great videos that we can play now for the next little bit. So Andrew, would you like to introduce the next one, and I'll load it up?
Sure. So first off, we're going to be chatting to Kissy from West Africa. Kissy works in community relations in Camo National Park in Cote d'Ivoire. This year, he won one of the International Ranger Awards, which was great to see him get recognized for the incredible contribution he's had to community relations in the park. But I think he'll probably explain it best.
Bonjour, chers amis Rangers. Je suis le commandant Kissy Ofosu Dandous. Je travaille au parc national de la Komwe avec 1 148 756 hectares. Le parc national de la Komwe est le plus grand de la Côte d'Ivoire. Ce parc est situé au nord-est de la Côte d'Ivoire et sa végétation est dominée par la savane avec quelques îlots de forêt, forêt claire, forêt galérique. On y trouve bon nombre d'animaux, notamment des buffles, des éléphants, des chimpanzés, des singes. Et en dehors du parc national de la Komwe, bien entendu, nous avons la population qui vit avec nous. Le travail que nous menons dans cette aire protégée est un travail de conservation, mais en dehors, c'est un travail de développement local. Mon travail en tant que responsable chargé des mesures riveraines, des actions en périphérie avec la population, c'est de maintenir le contact, c'est de maintenir les relations avec les populations riveraines et aussi d'appuyer les actions de développement local. C'est un travail passionnant. Le parc national de Komwe est confronté, comme tout parc national dans nos pays, à un certain nombre d'agressions, notamment le braconnage, l'orpaillage clandestin, quelquefois des transhumances dues au bétail. Et donc, face à tous ces problèmes-là, il y a lieu de mener des actions de répression pour juguler toutes ces agressions-là, mais surtout d'entretenir de bons rapports avec les populations riveraines. Et mon rôle dans ce travail-là, comme je le disais tantôt, c'est de maintenir les relations, mais c'est de comprendre les besoins réels des populations et essayer de les traduire en termes de projets pour que ces populations aient un niveau de vie assez acceptable. Et enfin, pour que les populations puissent adhérer à la politique de conservation. Déjà, nous avons mené un certain nombre de micro-projets sur le terrain, notamment dans le domaine de l'agriculture, de l'élevage. Nous avons installé aussi des infrastructures socio-communautaires, notamment des pompes hydrauliques, mais aussi nous avons des projets en vue, notamment dans le domaine de la santé, des dispensaires que nous allons mettre en place, aussi des écoles pour nos jeunes frères. Donc, voici un ensemble d'actions que nous menons avec la population. Alors, juste une expérience que j'aimerais partager avec vous. On a, face au problème de transhumance dans le parc, il y a de cela quelques années, depuis 2018, nous avons engagé un programme de gestion concertée et durable des ressources agro-pastorales dans 10 terroirs dans la zone périphérique du parc national de la Komwe. Et il s'agit pour nous d'assurer un peu la négociation entre les acteurs, notamment les propriétaires terriens, je veux dire les chefs coutumiers, détenteurs de droits coutumiers, avec les chefs des villages, les agriculteurs, les éleveurs, à l'effet de discuter sur un certain nombre de sujets. Les bœufs qui traversent les zones agricoles entraînent des dégâts de culture, et ces dégâts de culture-là se perpétuent. La conséquence, c'est que pour éviter les dégâts de culture, les éleveurs se retrouvent dans le parc avec leurs animaux. Donc, pour juguler tous ces problèmes-là, ce programme a été engagé avec un certain nombre de partenaires et nous avons pu, au sortir de ces négociations-là, pu avoir des accords locaux. Et donc, les éleveurs, les agriculteurs, les propriétaires terriens ont décidé de commun accord d'avoir un certain nombre de règles de gestion de leur espace, notamment ouvrir des couloirs de transhumance qu'ils vont matérialiser, avoir des zones de pâturage où les animaux vont y aller, nous projetons réhabiliter un certain nombre de barrages agro-pastoraux où il y aura aussi des aménagements pour que les mamans puissent, nos femmes, nos mamans puissent faire des cultures maraîchères et avoir un certain nombre de revenus. Donc, ce parcours a été enrichissant. Il a été très difficile dans les négociations, mais nous avons facilité tout cela pour qu'au bout de la chaîne, on puisse avoir ces accords-là, que tout doucement, nous sommes en train d'aider à mettre en œuvre. Voici ce que je voulais partager à vous, chers amis Rangers. Soyons toujours engagés pour la protection de nos aires protégées. Soyons toujours engagés pour le développement local. Bye bye.
All right. Awesome. I love his enthusiasm. It's a park that until I saw that video, yesterday when I was getting it ready, I'd never heard of. Africa's such a big and beautiful place. I think people forget that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Some amazing parks that never see, you won't see them on Facebook or Instagram often. But some amazing places out there where our natural heritage is being looked after by people like Kissy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we can probably squeeze one more in before the next part of what we're up to. So if you want to queue up the next video, I can load it up. Actually, this is a short one. So yeah.
Sure, yeah. So next up, we're going to be chatting with Albertus Ganuseb from Save the Rhino Trust in Namibia, and just learning a little bit more about what it takes to be a ranger, specifically looking at fieldcraft or bushcraft and how important that and tracking is to rangers on the ground.
I'm Albertus Ganuseb. I joined Save the Rhino Trust in 2015. When I joined Save the Rhino Trust, I got trained by senior trackers how to track rhinos and how to detect illegal activities within our wildlife area, which sometimes leading to poaching of rhinos and other wildlife. The experience I achieved from my senior trackers helped me to become a better tracker and a better wildlife protector, and also helped me how to protect myself against dangerous animals in our area, like lions, leopards, and elephants. I'm happy with my job and I am happy to protect our wildlife because it's our resources. My message to the world is to encourage everybody in conservation to take a serious care of our rhinos and our wildlife because they are in danger.
All right. So another kind of example of other roles that rangers play and the skills that they need to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something, being comfortable in the environment that you're working in is key to any profession. And certainly for rangers, it's a key to ranger safety and well-being, which is the theme for this year, is you've got to be comfortable in your working environment. If you're working tracking black rhinos all day, you better be comfortable in terms of recognizing the signs of black rhino, how close they are, being able to get to safety, being able to predict their behavior, which can be difficult, and keeping you and your colleagues safe. And it's something that's often forgotten about, I think, from those outside of the ranger profession, is what skill it takes to be comfortable in the African bush or on the African seas.
All right. So I think we'll work one more in before the next part of our event. So I'll start loading the video if you want to cue it up.
Sure. So next up from East Africa, we have Sergeant Samuel Luwari. He was recognized last year during our Rhino Conservation Awards, but he works in Kadepo Valley National Park in Uganda, and also talking about monitoring, specifically giraffe and lion monitoring in that park and the role that he plays there.
Hello everyone, I'm Pascal Adrou Angozi from DRC. I'm working as a head of law enforcement in Garamba National Park. The most common question we're facing for every day is what are the challenges we're facing every day during our duty. The first challenge is that we deal with heavily armed poachers and they operate in big group compared to us as a field ranger in small group. So it is difficult to deal with the station because we try to prevent the loss of lives of our field rangers. The second challenge is that the poacher are human beings. They think, they are smart, they plan ahead. It is difficult to know what they think, where they operate, how and when. But as a field rangers, we also plan ahead to make life difficult for these poachers by being proactive in our operations. These are the most challenge we're facing every day. Thank you.
Sorry, apologies, John. I got overexcited and skipped ahead to East Africa, but that was Pascal from Central Africa, from DRC, Garamba National Park, and just talking about the coming up against big armed groups, militia groups operating in DRC, and the role that rangers play in law enforcement and bringing stability to a region, which is what Pascal and his team at African Parks have been able to do in Garamba.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's not something that we think about in this part of the world, and having a job with kind of that much kind of danger, and I mean the selfless work that rangers do, and that's just a small example.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No respect to the guys. I mean, DRC, has the largest amount of ranger deaths in Africa, unfortunately. And guys like Pascal and his colleagues up there really deserve all the respect that they get.
Yeah, no question. And again, that's really what a lot of today is about, is raising that recognition and remembering those who lost their lives or were hurt in the line of duty.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're approaching 3:56 my time, but different for you in South Africa. So I know we're getting close to when we want to have kind of that moment of silence, to remember those rangers. So what do you think? Do you think we have time to kind of do the honor roll right now, or should we wait till after the moment?
I think maybe let me just give a bit of context to what we're going to do at 10 o'clock, which is just have a moment of reflection for the rangers worldwide that have lost their lives in the last year. The International Ranger Federation has noted over 500 rangers have died from COVID worldwide, which is truly incomprehensible to understand. Rangers really deserve, as frontline workers, to be at the front of the queue when it comes to vaccination and to efforts to protect them in their in the work that they do. They protect the planet. There's no bones about it, and they deserve much more than what they currently get. In Africa, we've noted 86 deaths in the last 12 months, of which 82 have been in the line of duty. And majority of those are due to homicide related. So attacks by militia groups, well coordinated attacks by illegal, wood traffickers or miners, or just those operating, as I say, in these militia groups. Rangers have been killed by poachers. They've died of illness. Of course, we do have COVID related deaths in Africa. Some of those are quite hard to track, but we've had 29 rangers die of illness. We do think that the majority of those are from COVID-19. And, very sadly, we expect that number to rise in the next year. So, every World Ranger Day, the International Ranger Federation and the Thin Green Line, generate a Ranger Roll of Honor. In Africa, we also generate one just for Africa as well, where we recognize our colleagues. And at 10 o'clock today, we've asked our members and Ranger colleagues and friends of ours to just, spend a moment and reflect on those and celebrate those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for nature and for our health as a planet and as the people of the planet. And yeah, after we've had a reflection, I'll read through some of the names on that list as we pay our respects to them, and we certainly won't forget them. Thanks everyone, and thanks Joe for giving us that opportunity. I think it's it's really important to have that moment of reflection. I'm just going to read through the roll of honor now, and I just ask for forgiveness for some of my pronunciation, but I'll give it my best shot. So today we obviously remember all our ranger colleagues worldwide, but in particular, as GRA and as the African Rangers, would like to acknowledge our 86 colleagues who have died since last World Ranger Day. Wanderlei do Nascimento from Angola, illness. Morai Julio Fonseca, Angola, killed by Black Mamba. Jose Martins Chipukupe, Angola, unknown. Felipe Makoso, Angola, illness. An unnamed ranger killed in Botswana by buffalo. Rory Young, killed in Burkina Faso by terrorists. Chawo Henry, Cameroon, killed by an elephant. Marcel Ingagoi from Congo Brazzaville, illness. Taru Hubert, Cote d'Ivoire, illness. Wampi Maximim, Cote d'Ivoire, illness. Redomi Utara, Cote d'Ivoire, motorcycle accident. Tore Abulai, Cote d'Ivoire, illness. Arthur Kazembe, DRC, vehicle accident. Ken Batolo, DRC, illness. Kasumwana Akodunde, DRC, killed by militia. Kambali Changa, DRC, killed by militia. Karusarwane Changle, DRC, killed by militia. Moisi Changa, DRC, killed by militia. Baguru Kumbwe Dionjene, DRC, killed by militia. Alphonse Gasayoya, DRC, airplane accident. Justin Ikimgele, DRC, drowned. Surumwe Abdu, DRC, killed by militia. Alexis Mundu Nenda, DRC, killed by militia. Regan Katahiro, DRC, killed by militia. Eric Bashekere, DRC, killed by militia. Innocent Baduyi, DRC, killed by militia. Prince Intamkiriru, DRC, killed by militia. Kabege Masikini, DRC, drowned. Geti Geteni, DRC, illness. Jean-Pierre Paluku, DRC, unknown. Edward Bowake, DRC, illness. Kasonga Doka, DRC, presumed dead in a kidnapping. Samuel Masendenda, DRC, illness. Jean-de-Dieu Ngazo, DRC, illness. Jean-Francois Obame, Gabon, killed by assailants. John Pimo, Kenya, airplane accident. Ian Lamayan, Kenya, airplane accident. Adone Bore, Kenya, motorcycle accident. Joseph Ngeti, Kenya, killed by an elephant. Jessica Njeri, Kenya, killed by an elephant. Anne Terihia, Kenya, illness. Precious Zephania, Malawi, stoned to death. Salomone Kulibaye, Mali, killed by assailants. An unnamed ranger in Mali, killed by assailants. Lucas Mbomboro, Namibia, illness. Kadri Abdo, Niger, killed in a terrorist attack. Mahame Tagame, Niger, killed by jihadists. Saleh Garba, Niger, killed by jihadists. Awul Toli, Nigeria, homicide. Issa Chibrin, Nigeria, homicide. Edet Okon, Nigeria, homicide. Tanko Mohammed, Nigeria, killed by bandits. Amos Yakuba, Nigeria, illness. Dijibe Salane, Senegal, killed by wood traffickers. Sheldon Hooper, South Africa, killed by an elephant. Bukani Mkodnazi, South Africa, illness. Andrew Davies, South Africa, illness. Aaron Nkuna, South Africa, illness. Checkers Mashego, South Africa, went missing and was found dead after a patrol. Gordon Roberts, South Africa, COVID-19. Sean Stewart, South Africa, accidental discharge. John Clark, South Africa, illness. Kobus Mare, South Africa, killed by lions. Cyril Hlafuna, South Africa, killed by bandits. Jabulani Gwetele, South Africa, killed by bandits. Malibongwa Mafila, South Africa, killed by lions. Louis Olifia, South Africa, COVID-19. Godfrey Joseph, Tanzania, vehicle accident. L.A. Gwando, Tanzania, vehicle accident. Janice Shayo, Tanzania, illness. Winnie Banafe, Togo, killed by an elephant. Scott Guma, Uganda, killed by an elephant. Matsipa Emmanuel, Uganda, killed by poachers. Okit Huntington, Uganda, illness. Onana Pios, Uganda, illness. Grace Lengwe, Zambia, illness. Samson Banda, Zambia, COVID-19. Solomon Chidunuka, Zambia, illness. Douglas Mbwewe, Zambia, illness. Monday, Zambia, vehicle accident. Aswell Siabasimbi, Zambia, COVID-19. Clement Maibolwa, Zambia, COVID-19. Xaverino Genovese, Zimbabwe, airplane accident. Ronald Nzamba, Zimbabwe, killed by an elephant. And Shepherd Ngurumani, who was killed last week in Zimbabwe by a buffalo. Thanks, Joe. It's always alarming reading through that role, and there's so much more than just names there. You know, those are rangers with families, with dependents, with they provide job and food security to many dependents in the local communities. And we just take our time today to pay our respects to them and the families that they've left behind.
It's alarming as well that we don't hear a lot of those stories, and I think that's a problem too. Rangers need so much more recognition, and I think if we could hear more of those stories and hear more about those sacrifices and that bravery, I think that could go a long way.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Joe. I don't know if you want to, if we can go back to maybe Samuel's video from Uganda.
Sure, absolutely. Let me cue that one up here.
Thank you very much, colleagues out there. This is Sergeant Samuel Oware from Kidepo Valley National Park. This park is located in the northeastern remote part of the country in Uganda. I particularly protect an animal or a key species called lion, and you all know that the lion falls to a class of cats. This lion is of key importance in Kidepo because, first of all, we are not monitoring them largely using local systems. What we are using, we have collared some of them. About 5 individuals have been collared there in Kidepo. And we were using both satellite and GPS system. The satellite goes together with the GPS. And then at the same time, we are using VHF tracking system. Why I protect this animal jealously in this park, or why we protect this animal jealously in Kidepo, one of the important why this animal should be protected is that this animal called lion or Pansara leo is one of the key species that keeps all the savanna national parks in Africa to look beautiful. Secondly, we protect them never to disappear because this animal is one of the keystone species that attracts tourists to this national park, and therefore is one of the animals that is bringing us foreign exchange. Without lion in Kidepo, we shall be having low numbers of tourists coming in. So conclusively, I want to tell us that the lion is one of the desired cats in the Savannah National Parks. Thank you very much. I wish you well in the World Rangers Day. Celebrate well and stay safe.
Yeah, Samuel's great, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean it's such a pleasure to meet so many rangers, over the last few hours and hear a little bit of the stories, hear about their specialties, again, Andrew, what I really love about what you put together for us today is it's spanning the continent of Africa, and really putting that spotlight on there's more to being a ranger than just security.
No, absolutely, and that's one of the key things we'll chat a little bit later about with the Ranger Legacy Project, and we'll chat to Peter Chadwick a bit later. But that's one of the key focuses of that, is highlighting the diversity of what rangers do. And the next ranger really, is someone who, if you Google pictures of rangers, you certainly wouldn't expect to see Leo. He works in Vamizi Island off the coast of Mozambique, of the east coast in the Indian Ocean. He works with Oceans Without Borders, a fantastic program up there. I mean, they're in the middle of a terrorist insurgency in that part of Mozambique, and the island has been fraught with challenges over the last 18 months. But we're going to hear a little bit about Leo and some of the work that he does there on the marine side of things, which is often forgotten about.
Hello everyone, my name is Leo, and then I work to Ocean at Board at Vamizi Island. So Vamizi Island is situated in the northern part of Mozambique, and it's just a couple of k's away to cross the border. So my role at Vamizi Island is to help the community to protect the MPA. And so basically doing that is to take a boat every single day, and we go out to an NPA area looking for illegal fishermen. So if we do, the biggest challenge there is when we find illegal fishermen is to have to direct them back to the CCP, which is not the easiest things to do ever with the fishermen. But doing so, we also work together with the community, and basically we work more with the fishermen. So the CCP, it is Community Council of Fisheries. So if we do find the fishermen on the central area, we redirect those to community fishery leaders to deal with the situation. And one of the things that also I like to do it is to walk around the beach, with about 15 k's or 20 k's around the coast, and then we're looking for a turtle nest. So the turtles, they're basically coming during the night to lay the eggs, and then after that they go back on the sea. And during the day we walk around and then look for the new nest. And of course, if we have already nested on it, is to look if those ones that have been hatched or not. If they are, we count all the eggs and then look for those that are basically, sometimes there is a tripod one that they always stay behind on the nest. So we go and dig it out the nest and take those turtles out and release them. That is one of my favorite parts when we see all those babies swimming back on the sea. I actually just like it. But besides also doing the turtles on a community, we help the children, educate them how to treat and then how to preserve what is surrounding them. And then one other thing that I also do is to teach the kids how to swim. I'm a dive instructor, so I also get a chance as well to teach the kids around the village to see, to let them know how to swim, and then of course after swimming, giving them a chance for snorkeling, and then they can see exactly what we are protecting, and know the knowledge of why we're protecting the area. And I'm very proud to be part of the challenge, and then Vamizi team is ready to be, and we're looking forward for this beginning. See you all.
All right. Well, I have a personal affinity towards ocean rangers. I've been a diver since 2007, and I love to see a rich, vibrant ocean life. So it's great to see that there's people on that front line as well, protecting our ocean life, our marine life.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do such important work out there, you know, and as I say, often forgotten about, and we really need to work on raising their profile on the marine sector. And in that light, I'm going to introduce you to Peter Chadwick, who's a conservationist. He's a GRA member. He's worked across many different parks, including marine parks. One of the few people that has worked on both terrestrial and marine parks. So we're going to introduce him now. And I know he's an advocate for oceans as well and for marine rangers. Hello, Peter.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks very much for the opportunity to speak on this critically important day.
Awesome. No, thanks, Pete. I mean, you'll know the Vamizi Islands, having been up there, and I'm sure you would have seen the little clip from Leo there. But so important to you know, try and highlight some of the work that's happening in these far-off places that don't get attention. And I guess that brings us to the discussion around the Ranger Legacy Project, and maybe you can share a little bit about that and why we're doing it.
Sure, just give me a second to bring up the screen. Hopefully everyone can now see that. Is it working?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think, you know, there is a perception by a lot of people that all rangers do is protect wildlife against wildlife crime and environmental crime, and in so doing spend most of their time using military tactics. While this is definitely the case, sadly, across most of the world, through rhino poaching, elephant poaching, etc., these rangers also play an incredible diversity of roles. And I think one of the things that, you know, in discussions that Andrew and myself have had through the Game Rangers Association of Africa is that we really need to raise the profile of these rangers and highlight the challenges that they face, but also the diversity of individuals that they are and the different roles and responsibilities that they have in conservation. It's not only about protecting wildlife from you know, syndicated criminals across the planet, but it's also partaking in activities that in incredibly diverse habitats, you know, from the bushveld through to the marine systems, which we've spoken about earlier. Marine rangers don't get much profiling, and it's critically important that we start focusing on the work that they are doing and the challenges that they face, which are obviously very different from the terrestrial environment. You know, very challenging terrain that they work in, often dangerous terrain, be it from illness, be it from extreme temperatures, or be it from the terrain itself. But, you know, also we need to profile the work that they are doing in terms of species conservation. not only protecting our iconic species such as the elephant and the rhino, but they also do a lot of work on monitoring rare and endangered species, things from wild dog all the way to turtles, and monitoring the marine environment, intertidal zones, right down to the deepest parts of our ocean. And here, these guys are busy doing, they're busy with some fish research. And the individual in front, one of his major focus species is actually the Neisner seahorse, which only lives in 2 or 3 estuaries of South Africa, and that's its total population across the entire planet. So incredible work that these guys are doing. And I think, from a perspective of imagery, why we decided to develop the Ranger Legacy Project through the Game Rangers Association of Africa is that we realized that, in today's world where we're facing an incredible bombardment of media, we don't have much time, and the easiest way to gain someone's attention is through powerful imagery that will stop them in their tracks and hopefully allow them to read the messages, etc., that the stories that we're trying to tell.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. I think it is, and Joe, it's a fantastic project. What you'll see, obviously, that's some of the images that Peter's managed to get over his travels, to these various parks around Africa. And as he says, the greatest way of telling the story is through the visual imagery. That's what grabs people's attention. I think, what makes someone like Peter unique in this project is his understanding of what's happening in that photograph, because he's been there and done it as a ranger himself. And I think that's been a key component to the words that Peter's been able to put behind these images, and will hold this project going, in good stead going forward. We've managed to create an African Ranger database or photo database, which is still having images added to it. We've been working closely with, I know you chatted to the Wildlife Ranger Challenge earlier today, with them, have also been supportive of the project in terms of getting some other conservation photographers on board to contribute to that image library. And we hope to be able to tell the story of the African Ranger. If we want to be the voice of the Ranger, which is one of our goals as the Ranger Association of Africa, we need to be able to tell their stories, and we need to connect with them and show the world the diversity of what they do. And for me, Pete, I don't know about you, but for me, the key with this project has been that word diversity of rangers, diversity of places, diversity of roles. Young, old, male, female, terrestrial, marine, jungle, savanna, mountain, you can name it. It's all about showing that diversity, and that'll show how important rangers are.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. And I think, one of the great things of the photographic project is it gets us onto the ground in these diversity of places, but really allows us to work with the different individuals and capture their stories. So I think, the photographic component is certainly one part of it, but the time that I've spent with these rangers has really got incredible diversity of stories that need to accompany the images and really highlight the amazing, incredible work that these guys are doing, not only for the species and habitats, but ultimately for humanity at the end of the day. And I think that's an aspect we forget. It's not about the wild places. It's actually, their role is critical for humanity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, a key for me as well, like you say, is getting onto the ground, being able to speak to the rangers themselves. What we often find is the message is lost, between the ranger, between the people actually doing the work and the decision makers, and how the messages are portrayed at a high level. And I think being able to tell their stories, being able to put a face to who's actually doing this work. Often rangers aren't consulted in key conservation decisions that impact them and the amount of support they get. And I think this project's been great, and certainly there's a lot more work for us to do into the future, but giving those rangers a voice, showcasing what their opinions, what their experiences on the ground are, because that's they should be influencing what happens at strategic and at policy level.
Absolutely. No, thanks very much indeed for the opportunity to showcase this, and well done to everyone and to all the rangers out there. We salute you and thank you for the work that you've been doing.
Yeah, Peter, thank you so much for those images. I totally second what Andrew just said. It so powerfully puts faces to names and statistics, and you can almost feel yourself there at night on patrol, and kind of almost feel what that would be like. So what a great project, and thank you so much for giving that even more powerful voice to the Rangers.
Super. Thanks, guys, and good luck.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, so Joe, I mean, that was great just to showcase that, and I think Pete's explained it perfectly, and I think those images talk for themselves, as you say. That's what life is like at the front line, and people need to understand that. I think people want to understand that. I had a comment last night on some of our social media where someone said, please, we need you guys, we need Rangers talking more, we need them on social media. Rangers work in remote areas. They don't often get a chance to have connectivity. Unfortunately, I have to sit here with one of Peter's photos in the background because there's no connectivity in the forest where this photo was taken. But those of us that have the opportunity to connect and to speak with the world, I think people want to hear the Rangers stories, and if we can be a conduit to that, then we'd love to be, and we certainly see our role there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great. I mean, from the Ranger stories all across Africa, all the different roles that they're undertaking, and every one of them just so enthusiastic and so proud of what they do, and then really tying things together with those images. What a great session, Andrew. I thank you so much for helping to bring this together, and of course, the Rangers giving their time to do that for us. So I know I'm definitely going to be thinking about that moment of silence we had earlier and that honor roll. It's really brings today home.
No, thanks, Joe, and thanks for the platform. And this ties very much in ties into what we're trying to do. So thank you for your role in helping spread the word about Rangers and give them a platform where their voices can get heard. I think we must also celebrate Rangers today. Obviously the honor roll and paying respects is a huge part of today, but it's also about a celebration of the profession, a celebration about the men and women that are actually doing the work out there. They're the ones facing these odds, and we've got a couple of clips to end off with from Pickett in Zimbabwe and sort of closing words from Reggie Smith again. I thought it'd be nice to bring her back and chat about a little bit of something else. But thanks for your help, Joe, and happy World Rangers Day to everyone around the world.
All right, let's cue up those last clips. Here we go.
Yes, my name is Regina Smith. I'm the proud member of the Game Ranger Association of Africa. I work as the adjutant for the Rhino Protection Unit in Pilanesberg National Park. My job is very important because it means that I'm ensuring that future generation can enjoy our natural world and incredible species that they live within it. Being a ranger for me is very important because it means that I will never fail my comrade. I will always keep myself mentally alert and physically strong. Remember, everyone, protecting nature is not just for Rangers, it's for everyone. And for COVID-19 Rangers, I love you. Pilanesberg Rangers love you. So always put your mask on. This is a salute to all the Rangers in Africa.
Hello everyone, I'm Pickett Chabwedzeka. I'm an ecologist and anti-poaching manager at Victoria Falls Private Game Reserve here in Zimbabwe. I'm also a member of the Game Rangers Association of Africa. Game Rangers are very important in protecting and conserving our wildlife, and also especially here, protecting our critically endangered black rhinos. Rangers also provide an amazing experience, sharing it with our guests and our visitors that visit us here from all over the world. On this day, I say Happy World Rangers Day to you all guys out there.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I want to bring you in one more time, Andrew. I do want to make sure that we get the link up for the website, so gameranger.org, to learn a little bit more, dig a little bit deeper, support if you can. Thanks for taking us on a whirlwind coast to coast to coast to coast trip, all around Africa and introducing us to those Rangers and their stories.
No, thanks, Joe. And obviously today's the focus of World Ranger Day is Ranger safety and well-being. And if people want to learn a little bit more about what we do in that area, they can head over to the website, look for what we call our Ranger Care initiative, which is about providing life, disability, and medical evacuation insurance to Rangers and ensuring that they're trained and equipped with the relevant first aid skills and equipment to ensure that they're safe in the field. But thanks again for the opportunity and for the platform for Rangers.
All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks Andrew.
Cheers, Joe.